More, you guys hear me? Nice, Mason. Crushing Paya today. Wow, Paya, you are slow with the draw. It's a little embarrassing. Be back in 90 seconds.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital pages are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users with the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in both separate trading, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers farmers without preservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account holder is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit in hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give trade recommendations. Analysis of the share trades and potential trades that I'm taking myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach trades that I can advise specific areas trading and to themselves ultimately make decisions. Trading extremely risky and you decide on my personal trading, so no risk and potentially to entire account anymore. And I was profitable and I have routine drawdowns in my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use Anderson values and ATR values and we can exact prices for my trades. You can see my Anderson prices in the master spreadsheet as well as prices of trades whether you no longer sure. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm its own prices and consider your own spread for yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which section of trades it has entry prices and stock prices for long short positions depending on the trading person inside trade.
All right, give me 1 second here. Just trying to finish up these last couple zones, and I think managed has a lot of questions on that queue. I haven't looked at it yet. Let me finish this up here. Just putting the rest of these zones in for you guys. All right, so I was short NG put it in the room. I actually missed it initially. Luckily, it came back and filled me because I was actually putting the charts in the room and I missed the trade. But this was a slug. Where's my drawer? Yeah, there was this first one and then this one fired off. It was not right at the lug, but sometimes you got to use a little judgment, right? This is close enough for me. Volume event was here. And you can use some common sense. When you're at 2.5, or this is, what was it, 3? This is VWAP, 1 standard deviation. This is 1.5, 2. So this is 2.5 standard deviations as well from VWAP. That's close enough to put the trade on. And then you can see why I get out of some of my position, not the whole thing, at important areas. This is a yellow lug right on top of basically VWAP. Right? It's not, I don't just ignore important areas because I want 2, 3, 4 R on my trades, right? Yeah, this could just blow through, but if it starts to struggle, then I'm out of one. That's just, you got to pay yourself as you're correct. We talk about it every day. Big Al was making humor about it yesterday, about having this tattooed to your forehead. You pay this whole document, but you pay it yourself as the market makes money available to you. And that was Ludwig level confluent with VWAP. I'm out of one of them. Now I'll keep one on until I either get blue lug, or say this rips down, I get an opposing volume event, then I'll get out of the full trade. Other than that, then I let it ride. And that's where I get my R's. When you average it out, then that's where I get the R when I do get that big move, right? So it's either blue lug, opposing volume event, or a stop out. So that's how I treat the final contract that I have on. All right, so these equities sold off overnight. They always do the sneak attack overnight. It's hysterical. It feels like it never sells off during the day. I mean, it does, but you know what I mean. I was actually looking at the shocker, right off the blue lug there. Who knew? I was looking at this last night, and I wanted to put a short on. I was like, I didn't bring up my book map, and I'm just like, forget it. But this is what I talked to you guys about, how to use this footprint, how I use it anyway. If I can find it. I saw at the close yesterday, there was quite a bit of volume. Granted, you got to take the close with a grain of salt, but as far as the volume coming through, because there's a lot of cross currents, but I was looking at this, and it's just, you can just visualize this like our volume events. There's a volume event, right? Just a different thing. You can see almost 50,000, 82,000. You have 130,000 contracts in this area with huge aggressive buying. Well, how are they feeling when it moved down here? And then here's your move away, here's your retest. And I was sitting right here, I'm like, I really hope there's a volume event so I can short it. And I'm like, I'll just go to bed. And then I wake up and it's 30 points lower. But that's how I use the footprint. Right? You just want to locate it. Volume is the driver. Volume is the king. That's all I talk about. It's just common sense. Like when you trade with common sense, you're not like confusing yourself like, oh, what's this? I don't know if this line is going to hold. I don't know if this Bollinger Band is going to hold. It's, wow, there's a lot of traders loaded up here. Somebody's going to be wrong and I'm going to take advantage of it. That's what trading it should be. And then again, you can have that information at another important area. That's even better, right? Speaking of which, I don't understand your question here, man. Shizzle, why would 581 be a line? Let's see. Where's up here? This is from stuff before that the market kept respecting, so I kept it in, right? So this was a gap up this day, a gap up that day. Actually paused a little bit here, directional conviction, held again. Is that what you're asking about? And then this is exactly what we said this is what should happen when markets break down out of balance, right? So you had this breakdown, a lot of times it'll come back to the bottom and then die, or it'll come back to the high volume node and then die. And that's exactly what happened. So now we're gapping down here. Let me see if she responded to that. That was your question, yeah. So just look back. If it goes back, the farther these go back, that's what I'm starting them at, and then the market just keeps respecting. Like this one was gap down, directional conviction, a little bit of a tail. It held here, it held here, it held here, tail, right? So that's what this zone is. So if the longer it goes back, but a lot of times I'll shorten them up, and you can look back and it'll say, wow, there's like 10 different things here at this area too. So.
We're still structurally short of skilled workers.
It chirps right now too. Was it barking? Yeah. So it's usually the usual. I'm sure it's going to be good cop, bad cop. Again, they're going to come in and start saying positive things. The market's going to rally at the open. I'll get it back up probably to 45.50, and then next time Powell speaks, then I'll drop the hammer. All right, you can see we're opening right here, but I'll take a Izzy long. I don't want to be long, but this is an important zone. This is where this gapped up from. This is an example where I had this drawn all the way over here. I just cut it, I just brought it up over here to show you guys more recent stuff, but this was a gap up. You have a little tail here. I should have made this a little higher, but we're right here. If I get a volume of it, I would take them long. especially with market Fed guy talking, you know they're going to say something bullish and try to get this market to pop back up, because that's what they always do. What we talked about overall, this is another good example. Let's make it like this. Failed breakout. Usually it just does this to come back to the volume node. Failed again. I'm expecting that. And you know what Spot Gamma says, we'll read it. I haven't had a chance to read it today about we broke 4,500, which is basically right here. He says straight move. If it holds, you know, the other day it broke and it popped back up, shockingly. You know, if this area holds, this was support. He said quick trip to 4,400, so be ready. And the options say that, the structure says it. So I am definitely bearish, but I'm a day trader. If I get a volume event and it's bullish, I will take a long right now, right? But you could, I mean, I don't love it. Like, I'm not just diehard short right here. If this were to pop up to this zone, I would probably trade double size short, or that zone double size short. Here it's had quite a move down, and you know, it's probably going to play games and screw all the weak shorts like it always does. So I think we're going to do that. I don't love it right in this area though. Right? Let's get extra going here. The other bonds on too. I know bonds are done. Hold on. Our bonds are, hopefully I did not miss an exit point here. Short bonds. I forgot to look at this.
Soy oil iceberg sells out 151 contracts.
All right, so this is an area I'm getting out of one, right? This is, I should already been out, pushed down through this, but it's coming back. You got baby lug, VWAP. I'm out of one. And then I let one ride. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. This is what I posted this morning. The broken ice setup. This did not get an ATR. I missed it by one tick above to disqualify the short. I had to get to a 6. It did not get there. And this was the Izzy zone. This actually might have done ATR retest failure as well. But this, so there was a question about Izzy zone. So guys, I mean, there are some new traders on here, but this is all I talk about. I talk about the trading strategies live every day. I'm going to have a course. You don't need the course per se because you're in my room. I'm going to have a course for it if you guys want to reinforce it, but I talk about, you get a course every day. This is what the trading room is, a live trading room. I'm talking about my setups. An Izzy zone is an inflection zone, something where we've been talking about this last 20 minutes, where something important happened, and then you get a volume event in the zone, you take the trade aggressively out. We have a different entry as well, more conservative, but these are aggressive entries where you get straight gap up, aka directional conviction, into an important zone. Many times it will fail. And this was an important zone. It remains important. It's important there, it's important there, and it just failed again, right? So I mean, it's pretty straightforward, like as far as what an Izzy zone is. If you don't understand that, posted that, then throw your questions in. But this is what the webinars are for. I'm going over what the trading strategies, so you're getting like a course every day, and then you can ask questions. So it's like you're getting mentoring every day as well. Right? The people that aren't in this room, they don't get that. They got to pay for it separately. So take advantage of it. All right. Did I miss something in crude? Sure did. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, that's the other thing too. As Nick Sound says, that's you've got 2.5 years of webinars that you can go back and watch any given webinar, especially the last 6 months when we've really drilled down to these strategies and made them, you know, independent so we can see what's going on. And again, the goal is to get all these live. They're all creeping up. Guys, this is just a perfect example. Trading is a grind. You are, you know, especially, you know, if your account size is, the size you're trading is small, it's going to take a while to build up, right? So I'm risking, and I'm still being aggressive with these trading strategies, right? But I'm risking $500 in a trade. So my usual winners are $500 to $1,000. Well, it takes, it's a grind. It's like I tell you guys every day, trading is this: make a little, lose a little, make a little, lose a little, have a huge day, make a little, lose a little, make a little, lose a little, have a huge day, right? It just so happens the last 4 months has been absolutely terrible trade. So it's just a grind. Right, but these are all working their way up, and once these all get live, I'm actually going to hire someone once these all go live, because I can't. I've had so many. You guys see all the mistakes, so these are not accurate as far as the stats. They're okay, but once I go live, then there's not going to be any more mistakes. But you can see, I mean, these are grinding up. This one got killed. I blew out of it on a pullback. It was still profitable, but profitable. These are small losers. Profitable, low profit. So, and I qualified on the on this one last night. This is this went live. This is just me.
164 contracts.
That account is on this computer. That's me just screwing around with market pulse. So that should be very, you guys should be very optimistic for the market pulse stuff.
NQ I slice for sell NQ 152 contracts.
Because I ran that puppy up to $9,000 pretty quick, and I wasn't trading. I was risking maybe $1,000 on trades. So. That's what you guys want to do with Apex. Test out your ideas. You take my stuff, try to build your own stuff, or work on my stuff. We're not risking your own money, and then lo and behold, you do well. Now I have a funded account on Market Pulse. I'm going to trade it the same way. I'm going to trade just Market Pulse trades on that account. That's the beauty of the Apex. All right, we got a volume event here in NASDAQ. I want to go back to crude because I didn't see where we were. Just a quick peek here. Hopefully I didn't miss some dizzy or anything. No, it's just sitting back in this dizzy zone, but the volume event was above this zone. So we'll go back there in a second. Get this up here. Now, you don't have to use Apex. It's just, I don't see a reason, especially if you're learning, why you want to risk your own money, right? I mean, you see what I do. It's my system, and I still have errors up the wazoo that have just crushed me. But, guys like Lance, he never went Apex. He just started with his own account, and I'm with the green light to see what his P&L is, what he's made since he's come in here. I think it was February or April. I mean, not February or March. It's ridiculous, but I don't want to talk about his P&L unless he wants to disclose it. But all he's doing is what he learned from me. Look in the side, go in here and in the search box and put Lance in, and you can read what he would talk. Everyone's like, well, how do you do it? I don't understand. He's like, I'm just doing what Scott says to do. So just go in here and read what he talks. Actually, you got to say, how does this work again? From Lance or something. You guys know how to do this. How do you search? Put in there how you search to find someone's chats. But he's not. He has his own spin when he gets in. He'll get out pretty quick on some of them, and you can ask him on that. But he's just following the rules. It's not magic. It's being disciplined and just doing the same thing every time and not trying to, use your gut. I like this one. This one doesn't feel right. That kind of thing, right? You just trade it like you're an algo. All these things. So I'm not saying it's easy to do. That's why trading is hard. That's why not nobody, but a very high percentage of traders don't make money. All right, as you can see, I can't do two things at once. I just sit here and talk, and I'm like all over the place with this chart. All right, there you go. 15,367 to 15,358. Put your zone in. Put your ATR in for 5-minute Wilders, 14 period ATR. There you go. So if this touches 43.75, it's a short event. If it touches 81.25, it's a long event. This looks like a 1 ATR winner. Well, look at that. That's a real shocker, isn't it? This is what Lance is trading. He's trading like the slugs and stuff, but his main trade is the 1 ATR reversion trade. And this was it. Right here. You get long at 45, you stop out at 28, you're out at 56.50. Right there. You take 2 points of heat right back to the zone. That's how it works. And Big Al just put that into, I just saw it, right? Boom, you're out. You can hold it. You're not following the system though. You follow the system, you're out when it touches that price. All right, let's see where Algo Guy is. I can potentially put on, I'm assuming it's bearish. Remember, I'm only taking barfs and licks in the direction of Algo Guy, meaning the blue is the shorter term, the red is longer term. When the blue is below the red, it is bearish. So I'm taking barfs and lick. It's my one filter for those trades. And here you go. It's the ATR retest failure. I'll go short now. We'll short it. Go back to your position trading. It's going to be the barf. See if there's lick down there. I will short 41.50. I could put on 6. There's liquidity down here, longer term liquidity. I think that qualifies. All right, it's been in here basically since the open. So I'm going to put a barf and a lick on. If this comes back, I'm shorting 41.50. So that account, barf 69. 6, that's the wrong market. The barf's working. Let's look again. 66. All right. Those are working. And you can see why I got one of my bond trade right there. Bond shorts bounced right off of there. So I'm out of one. Now if it comes back, stops me out, then it's out in the next trade. Not, I'm holding it. See if I can get down the blue up or an opposing volume event. Let's see what natural gas is doing. Just bounced off the yellow again. Again, I have one left. I'm holding it for blue lug or opposing volume. Yes, approaching blue lug again. This is the one issue with these trades here, potentially in Nasdaq. Am I, whoa, here? What happened here? That's not good. Just got to fill the Nasdaq. Yeah, I'm short Nasdaq. It'd be nice to find the lugs here. I don't know what happened here. What is going on here? Are you on this webinar, Miss Lug? I don't know what's happening here with my lugs on my Nasdaq. Can someone post their lugs, please, so I can take a peek? This is not what you want to see. Do you know why that's happening? Like I refreshed and like just the whole chart like condenses and my lugs are like, I know, but I don't want to reconnect. I don't want to X out of this. And because I can't remember if I need to save my stuff. I don't think I do. All right, hold on. Because if I save it, then it's going to save it like this with this nonsense, whatever it's doing right here. All right, I got to restart that, guys. Sorry. All right, I'm short NASDAQ though. I just wanted to see, I was going to short it anyway. It's already 20 points in my favor, but I had no idea where I'm getting out here as far as lugs. If you guys could post a lug chart, that would be wonderful. This is into this Izzy zone. So, you know, I've got 6 on. I could take off a couple if it can't bust through here. Keep an eye on it. Now I'm all rattled because I don't have my lugs. How about just one time just blows through? How about just one time it doesn't do the juke bungee jump and rip back up 100 points? Just one time. So the lick trade, I'll be out at lick, right? That if it struggles at all, I'm out. If it did bust through, then I still put my stop if it comes back above. That's just the lick trade. The barf I will try to hold. And here we come. Remember, You don't have to try to squeeze out the exact touch of liquidity. The algos pick up this liquidity and they run the market away when it gets down here and picks up the size down here. So don't be trying to squeeze out, you're 3, 4, 5 points away from this. I would be covering if you got lick trade on. Now I got to wait literally 5 minutes for these damn charts to repopulate. Just get down there one time where I don't have to sit here and question. Just one time. Go. There's zero chance of it, but especially when I put my eyeballs on it. But you can use this to help judge too. This in your market pulse. The judge. Okay, hey, I'm going to give this a chance to rip through. This was a stop run, but just can't go down there. Just got to do this same nonsense every single time. This is too far. Like I'm talking, if it just rips back up, which it's about 99% going to, then that's fine. I'm talking like if it was down in here, I don't need to see it puncture through this liquidity. I'll be out, but let them play their damn games. It's like, it's just one time I want to see the thing swipe right to the liquidity. These are just algos playing with your money, guys. This is all this is. We talk about it every day, right? It's like you're short, you're like, oh yeah, and then it starts doing this. You're like, oh, I got to get out. I got to get that $140 profit. I don't want to give that back. That's what they. What do you look at these algos? Look what they're doing in here. This is one house, by the way, just screwing with you, right? Nothing's going on. They bring it all the way back. Everybody pukes, and then it ends up selling off 200 points.
Showing me why Siceford sells in 151 contracts.
Don't get algoed. Keep your stops away outside the MIME events so you don't have to get screwed by the algos that are just trying to take your money. Well, what do you think they're there for? All right, this is starting to get close, so maybe. I can't. Your chart is so weird looking. Lombok, where's the blue? Is there a blue lug around there? I cannot read that. Come on. This is where you can use the 5-minute market pulse too.
Stock sell NQ.
There we go.
238 contracts.
All right. I'm getting out of my lip just because I can't manage all these markets. So it's at the lick. I'm out. There was a stop run. If you really want to, now all you got to do, and what I'm going to do with my bar trade is trail my stop to this new event. Right. I could have done that with the lick too, but I'm just out. I'm sick of staring at this thing. There's your stop run here. So there was a nice 40-point trade. It was pretty minimal torture there. NASDAQ could do way better than that in the torture. Way better. And I think we all know anyone who's traded NASDAQ. All right, now you got to figure out where this swipe started, right? So yeah, you see this, the red line, but a lot of times the stop run starts a little bit before there. You just want to see. It obviously didn't start here. I'm talking about drawing zones because it would have already triggered off when it touched that price, touch that price. So it had to have been here. So that's where I'm putting the top of the zone. Stop run. All right, so I signed the agreement with the developer in here. So we should be getting pumping stuff out here shortly. You're going to be getting stats for the ATR trades. I think he's got some. I'm going to get him access to the Bookmap API for the zone drawing. Hopefully, he can figure out how to draw zones accurately, where it's just like it draws them automatically. That would literally save years off my life.
S&P Siceford sell ES 703 contracts.
So this is an example where I didn't need to get out of slick trade. And I'm fine with it, but it just plowed right through it, right? So when it plows right through, just put your stop if it comes back above there, because now
NQI Siceford sell NQ 170 contracts.
You get another 20 points in counting if you just held on to it. That never struggled at that liquidity. I can't watch everything. So, all right, let's see where we're at here. Hopefully my lugs are not being. Come on. All right, so that was blue lug. So I probably would have been out of some there anyway, so the barf, I got lucky for barf. So I'm still in the barf full-fledged. So now I'm watching. There was just another event too, so we'll draw that event, but this is an area where I'll get out of some, this top of this market profile composite, and obviously you got blue lug down there. Highly doubt it's going straight there. But just like this, here you go. All right, so you got a new event coming here. Looks like, yeah, you get, so I'm gonna trail my stop. This is the perfect scenario when you get trades on. You trail your stop, not based on your P&L, based on something that happened in the market. This is a new volume event. So I'm guaranteeing myself profit here as long as I can get the damn zone drawn quick enough. That was there. All right. Remember, incorporate all these spikes. I mean, all the prices in the spike. The spike down here. I gotta move this up a little higher too. Why is this not? Because I'm using the wrong hotkey, that's why. There we go. You see how dangerous this is though. It's like NASDAQ moves quickly and I'm sitting here spending 5 minutes on the zone. Right? So you gotta, sometimes you just gotta eyeball and get your stop in. I'm hoping this doesn't rip back 50 points already on me because we all know it's coming. Hope I'm wrong, but I doubt I am. New zone, 15,285 down to 15,274, 274.50, 285 to 74.50. Put that in your spreadsheet. ATR's got to be higher. It is 19.81. Oops. All right, so now the new zone, say I got short off of this zone, my stop would be 0775. So that's where my stop's going to be trailed from my original stop. I didn't even put that original stop in. It was way up here. But I'm going to show you something else here too. So remember, I got short off of this zone. We took the barf and the lick. I got out at the lick. My stop was above this volume event. So I don't get algoed. This fired off, I can move it down to that, ATR above that one. And then I didn't even put that zone in as far as to see where to get out. And then we got another event. So now I'm putting my stop above this event. So now I'm guaranteed. So if all of you that love to stop out of your trades to lock in your profit, well, now you have a reason. So the only thing here is that 775 is what? It's right in the middle of the zone. I'm not stopping out in the middle of zones. So I will move it up. This one's not too bad. I'll move it up 3 points. Let's put it up. I'll put it up to 1025. So it should be 775 on the spreadsheet. I'm moving to 1025. And then I'm out. If that pops up, I make 30 points on the next trade. If it keeps going, then I'm still in it. So that is trail to 1025. So that is working. Other than that, where can I get out of some of these? I mean, I'm not really seeing much here. It is an extreme standard deviation, so this has a pretty high percentage chance of doing one of these off of -2 standard deviation. Let's look at relative volume and see if it's, a lot of times when relative volume is heightened, it was definitely heightened overnight. It's not really crazy right now. But that's where you get, when you see this relative volume like this, going into important areas like lugs, like standard deviation, that's when it keeps going and blows through lugs and things like that because the big money is playing. So that's how you can judge, hey, should I get out at the lug, all of them at the lug? You definitely want to get out of some at the lug at all times, in my opinion, because they're just that powerful. But you can try to hold some. If you see huge relative volume coming in, you can try to hold some. This is not huge relative volume, so I would not surprise me if this bounces off here. So I'll get out of 2 of them, just because I'm so sick of being, how many winning NASDAQ shorts have I had on in the last month that have just snapped back 100 points? So again, this is yellow lug. It's not that I'm just randomly getting out. That's what I tell you guys not to do all the time, right? but this is yellow lug, it's extreme standard deviation, I'm out of 2. I'm hoping this can hold. So this is how you come up with thesis as well, with lugs. When you draw new lugs, it should hold directional yellow, prior blue, and then make it down to blue. If for some reason this pops back, I know that would be shocking. If this gets back above here, then something's up and your target is usually red. It's just as far as thesis, right? Other than that, I'm holding it. Like I said, I'll get out of a couple more. If this thing motors down to 240, and I'll try to hold the rest to the blue lug and or opposing volume on it. What are my thoughts on that level 5,300 filling up with liquidity again? I don't know. Support is now resistance. Whoever just got run over, I don't know, pretend this was you. Say you're initiating buys there. You're like, yeah, oh wait, crap. Yeah, please let me out. And you put them back in to get the hell out. Right? That I'm telling you guys, if you just view the market in that way, it's going to be so much easier on your brain. Just common sense. I'm a buyer here. Oh no, that didn't work. Okay, get me out, please. Comes back, you get filled, and then you're out of your trade, and then usually that leads to the next time. That's the retest fail that we talk about every day, all day. Other than that, my stop is right here off of the cement. That comes up, then I took off 2 basically right here. I'll get out of the other 4 up there and then on to the next trade. You see how, if you can make this automatic. There's a lot of emotion. I understand that's why trading is so hard, but it's not. There are times you're questioning things, right? Like the liquidity here. I was like, okay, I can't stare at this. Should I get out? Usually you want to see some bubbles, but anyway, my point is sometimes you're going to have like questionable moments, but the system that we're using, it's pretty black and white, where you can, if anything, just learn, like if you follow your rules, you're gonna, that's how you're gonna make it. Because if you can't and you're still trading by the seat of your pants, you got no chance. I'm telling you, you have no chance. Get some rules in place. I'm not saying you have to use my exact rules, but you gotta see the proof every day. All right, I know this cure trade is gonna be a big one and I missed it. Let's see. No, okay, that's not bad. I just had a feeling this was going to do something. Let's see. This was, looks like a good market pulse though. Check out that. I saw another example. I can't remember what market early on. This was 178 sell ice. I'm just praying the guy that I'm working with in here could figure out how to draw zones. That would be just, it'd feel like I'd win the Mega Millions. That's like $1.5 billion. That would be the same feeling to me if I can get these zones drawn automatically. All right, 80.95-ish. Shouldn't be off the price. It's 80.95. God, this book map is so slow, man. I know it's because of the market pull stuff, but I let them know, so hopefully they'll figure it out. 80.95 to 80.71 is your zone. ATR in here is 0.235. All right, so to make that a short setup, I need to touch 80.44. Wow, look at that. I can't believe that went in one ATR and came back to the zone. Huh. It's almost like we should make a trade for that exact thing. 80.50, you would have been in the one ATR, you stop it at 8.22, you're out at 86.9, you make 19 ticks on the chart. It's almost like this is a pattern in every market, you know what I mean? Like it gets an ATR and comes back. We should really come up with a system for that trade. All right, so this is, I'm being sarcastic, obviously. Algo guy is bearish, I can put on BARFs. Let's see if there's any liquidity below here as well. Not really. There. Yeah, there is. I'll put on the leg. See it's 79 there. So I will put on, you got your ATR, you got your retest, fails, I'm in barf and lick. You guys, listen, this ATR, the way I trade with ATR, that's from me watching so many of these, and I'm in my original course, and I'm finishing up. I'm hoping to have the course done this week, finishing it up, but I talk about it even in the course. If you want to trade first break of the zone and those will work. You just got to be able, you got to be willing to put it on multiple times, right? So it's like, okay, here's a volume event. The minute that gets out of here, I see red bubbles, I'm in, my stop goes right above. You got to be willing for that to happen, because that does happen quite a bit. I've just, especially on webinars and stuff, I can't keep up with these just first breaks and then stop and then back, and then I put it on again and put it back on again. That's one of the reasons. And the two, I just found it's way more reliable if the market can get the ATR out of there, whether it's an aggressive entry where you get in right away. If the market can push through the algos that love to snap the stuff back, that's telling you something. Or this is even a better trade when it goes ATR retest failure. That's just a better trade. Yeah, you're risking more points or more ticks, but it's a better percentage trade in my opinion. But you can trade the first break out of there, and I'll talk about it in the course as you'll see.
Stock sell NQ 173 contracts.
All right, so if this, we'll come back to this. If that comes back out of there, I'm short and lick and barf. This is just, is the world ending today? Like, are we in heaven that there's just straight down movement in NASDAQ with volume events that we can trail stops to? Like, this is pretty unheard of, that you don't get the FU middle finger move, bungee jump. But this is perfect. Now I trail my stop to this event. I could be adding here potentially too. I got to look at, I forgot all about that. So you see now this is a different scenario. It looks like these swipes triggered the stop run. So how do we know that the stop run was there? We don't. The stop run could have been all the way up here. So you got to start it. This is why you want the sweeps indicator in the global plus. You got to start your zone there instead of here, right? Because this swiper, no swiping swiper, gets first right to the order book. And when he's done, then stops it.
149 contracts.
It's got a new setup. So anyway. And anyone in here with kids that doesn't appreciate my Dora references, then you don't belong in the room. I think it's pretty funny. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Ludwig, since you're on the webinar, I've been known to bet a racehorse or two. I was in a big tournament this weekend. It was, first prize was $200,000. Didn't win, of course, but one of the horses' name was Ludwig. I was actually going to email you to go bet. It was a heavy favorite, but name was Ludwig. It might be your horse actually, since I know you're just crushing it with your Ludwig levels in your volume events now. I did. I actually took it in the tournament. I didn't bet on it though. I will alert you to its next running. I think it was at Belmont Park or Saratoga, if I remember correctly. All right, so that's your new zone. Let's put that in. 15,276.75. I think I'm gonna post this webinar on YouTube too. This has been a pretty decent webinar as far as explanations of stuff, and I'm sure I'll find a way to like swear or something so I can't do it, but 15,270.50. ATR is up to 20.48. All right, so my new, if I was going to short this setup, my new stop would be, this isn't much different. It's 300 quarter. Remember, it's like a 10-point difference. Yeah, but let's see if that's in that zone. Hey, well, yeah, here it is. This is what I've been waiting for. So you got to make a decision here. Do you want to stop out right here, right at this liquidity, where it's probably going to fill and make another move down? Not probably, but could. Or I'm just going to keep it there. I'll just risk the extra 10 points here because remember my stop's at 10 quarter. I'm not going to move it right in front of the zone, right at the liquidity. And here's the magnet. They're right back there. They get their fills. They're out of their trade. That's how it works. It looks like I'm going to stop out of this. This is what I've been waiting for. The old middle finger to the shorts. these guys, the big money, whatever the hell's going on in here, they just, every time the thing dips, this is what happens. It's just the market environment right now. Even though this does, I mean, this markets do not look bullish anymore. But they're not going down without a fight. So that's why. And then, hey, look at that. Actually, this is a trade. Actually, I can go long here, Izzy. I'm gonna go long the same place I'm stopping out, that 10 quarter. So we'll go over Izzy. So I will stop out of my bars and I'm gonna go long Izzy. Izzy is, so that's in the spreadsheet where I will go long. So again, 300 quarters, the same place I'm going to stop out. I'm not going long right there. I'll move it up 10 points. You can see, and this is why, guys, I don't stop out right before zones, especially with liquidity there, or in the middle of zones. Touches it, right back. So if this comes up here again, as long as it doesn't get an ATR below here to make this a bearish event, I'm going to go long Izzy. I'll be stopping on my barf, and I'll go long Izzy, 10 quarter. I could put on how many? About 5. All right, that's working. I cannot do a bar for a lick here because algo guy is clearly bearish. Right? I'm not taking those aggressive trades. They're aggressive in their own right. I'm not taking them against algo guy. We've already talked about that so many times. It's my only filter for those two trades. All right, so there has not been an event in ES. Is that correct? Come on, man. What is wrong with this thing? No, maybe there was. Did I not hear this? Yeah, this was an event. Hold on. So here's your bond. Here's my bond short. Came all the way back to the zone, right? That's why I got out of one where I got out of one. If I get stopped out, fine. Then I basically make a little bit or scratch the trade. But this is why I get out. I don't say I'm putting on this trade. I got to get 3R or it's 3R or bust. That just makes no sense. I'm not going to ignore important areas. That's just not smart trading, in my opinion. Again, you have your educators. I'm doing my usual air quotes for these educators that have never made $1 in their lives. That you put out a trade. Yeah, when you put on a trade, you should, especially position trades, obviously, you're looking at it, you're like, hey, I think this is going to go 3, 4, 5R. Absolutely, right? But I don't ignore important areas when it gets there. If it starts to struggle, what am I looking at? I want to see my alerts. Yeah, there was. I just didn't hear it right there. That's why you want this alerts box up as well, because there's, especially when you're watching multiple markets, you're gonna hear things, but you're not hearing them. So this. $8.19 sell ice. So looks like it's a broken ice setup already. Remember what Spot Gamma said? I haven't even read today's yet. We'll read that here in a second when I finally stop drawing zones. But he said quick trip to 4,400. So I would think any pop back to, up to these Spot Gamma areas or our zones are going to be very, very good short opportunities. But they got to get the weak shorts out first. This is how it works every day. Feels like. All right, so that zone was 93 to 91.50. ATR is 4.54.
Catalyzed ice for sell LE 151 contract.
Good old cattle. Telling you, don't be ignoring these ag contracts. Like, stuff is moving, man. Today equities are moving, so yeah, you can concentrate on equities. But all right, so to make this a bullish setup, which it already looks like, it needed to touch the validation price of 97.50. There you go. Did you already get the ATR here? Let's see if the ATR reversion trade worked. That was a short at 97. Looks like you got it to the tip. Wow, that's really weird. You guys ever see this pattern? Look at that. This is why we have the trade. I can't wait to get this automated. I can't wait to see the stats on this. I'm so sick of watching this and not trading it. I'm just so tired of it. It's ridiculous. You get it automated. It's like boom, right back. You're out of the zone. On to the next one. On to the next one. That's the key. You got to take all of them, as many as you can. You're not utilizing the edge. All right. So anyway, I actually should have been long here. I avoided this. This is like, again, this is like a magical day where I didn't get long on that, but that was an ATR retest. I should have been long. Actually, take that back. No, I shouldn't have, because the algo guy is not bullish. So I should not have, I wouldn't have taken that long. But I cannot take the short off of the setup. Why? Somebody please tell me, somebody that's not been in here forever, don't make me call on you like we're in class. Why can I not take a short off of this volume event? You can't answer if you're a teacher's pet. If someone doesn't, I'm seriously gonna call like on 3 people and I want answers, and I'm kicking you off the webinar. I'm gonna kick you out of class. I already lost my damn chart. There's one person typing, why can't I take the long or the short off of this setup? You guys make me sad. Makes me sad I can't find this chart either. Hey, there it is, right on. Hey. ATR validation. I should have started calling on people. What are the rules? What are my rules? If the market's able to push an ATR out of there, which it did, I can't take shorts off of that setup. Those are my rules. You're more than welcome, but just until you watch about 14 million of these, I would probably listen to how I trade them. All right, Don, do you guys see? I'm definitely posting this on YouTube and Twitter and stuff. This is a perfect webinar as far as there's so many things happening, rules. This is why I don't stop out in the middle of zones. I would have been stopped out to the tick and then I'd be bitching this entire time. Put it up there. I didn't go long either. There you go. Not that I'm not out of the trade yet, but I'm just saying that this is why, especially, and then another thing you can do too is use your lugs. If you're exiting right at a lug, you may want to move it away too. Say there wasn't a volume movement there. Don't exit right on a lug. You could even put it above, if you want to risk a little more, another 10 points, put it above prior blue. Doesn't mean you can't spike up and do one of those, but you're just giving yourself more room in areas that is likely to do the juke move and then continue lower. Speaking of which, what's the, how about we look at some, uh-oh, this is almost trend down day. There you are. So remember, this thing gets under 2008, the advanced decline issues gets under 2000, be very careful trying to buy, because yes, you'll get little pops and then bigger moves. Then you get a little pop, bigger moves. So that the pops are very short-lived. Speaking of which, let's look at the edge keeps shutting down here, but you want to keep an eye on this too. But that was my barf. I mean, that's where I was going to go along that barf trade. Or not barf, Izzy. Which one do I still have on? There it is. So I still have 4 on, right? This is what I'm looking for. So this edge just, it keeps shutting down. But let's see if this is oversold. This is another thing you keep an eye on if you're at an important area. I'm telling you, utilize this channel. I don't know why there's not more people in here. Like, you guys don't want to hear news. You don't want to see tick strike. You don't want to see this thing. You see where this was the bounce, right? There you go. It's back to under, this is the 70% line, 66% line. That was oversold. What did the market do? We bounced. That was that bounce off of that zone. This was the oversold. It was oversold, we did that. Now it's back to normal, resumes. So what I'm saying is when you see that thing oversold, you can be getting out of some if it's at any kind of important, VWAP standard deviation or whatever, I would keep an eye on that. It's in the squawk channel. So I still have one of these natural gas on. Remember, I got out of yellow lug, and it just keeps bouncing off yellow lug. So I'm on one. I'm not, comes back, it comes back. It's not very many setups today, though. I mean, as far as these other markets. Oh, I forgot to draw crude. We'll go over to crude. See where we're at here. So that came close to the zone, never got there. So this is interesting. We talked about this at length the last however many days. This was a failed breakdown, right? This market should have done that. If anything, it should have held this zone. We talked about that yesterday. Now we're down here. That is not boding well for crude. It's good for our gas prices when this thing goes to zero. But talk about all the time when markets, they should do certain things. This was a fail. First of all, this should have done that. It didn't on the breakdown of this. Then when it gets back to this high volume node, then you expect a rip the other way. Well, that didn't happen. Now that's what that's looking like to me. So my thesis for crude, I mean, you can make this is a very important area if you make this one bigger balance here, right? But I would say this zone is a line in the sand. If this can get through this zone, then I'm expecting a whopper to the downside. So just remember.
By CL,
Hey,
151 contracts.
see, I told you there's a microphone in my office. People are listening to me saying, all right, let's go ahead and short this then. Or buy it. Let's do opposite of what he's saying. This is buy ice coming in. But just remember, we'll check back in a couple of days. We'll see if that crude's at zero. I think it will be. It's a joke. But we talk about the thesis, right? I'm trading both ways. I'm a day trader. But
PI sites for 5 ES, 701 contracts.
But if I start getting setups to the right here, I don't love it. I definitely think something's up. It's in danger land. But where I'll start trading double size is if we can get through this zone here. If it gets through this zone, then any short setups I get are going to be 2 times or more for the move to zero. All right, we'll come back here in a second. ES just fired off. So that spike started there, came to there, came to there. There's the top of the zone. This is buy ice. And came down to here. There's your zone. 83.25 up to 86. Oops, that's the top of the zone. ATR in here is 4.97. All right, so to make this, obviously I can't do any, barf trades, lick trades, because algo guy is definitely bearish right now. I don't think this is an Izzy zone. We just looked at it. I gotta come back into the crude here. Hey, what do you know? I lost my chart. It's really odd. It's not it. It's an old one. Wait, like I just don't understand what I do with these charts. Sorry guys, I know this is annoying to watch. The problem is I don't put them back to where they were, and then I can't find them because I got about 4,000 charts on 6 screens. I seriously cannot find this chart. Did I X out of it? Hey, there it is. Goodness gracious. And this was close, 44.82-ish and a half. So you could take this as I'm going to take this as an IZZY just because one is an IZZY, two, I'm expecting some kind of screw you bounce. So if this moves out of here, I'll take the long aggressively on the IZZY trade. That is 91.75 on 7. Problem is you're going to be entering right in the middle, right at the top of this zone. So I'll move it up to 94 or 93.5 if I go long that IZZY trade. But again, this is right here. Remember, these are just areas. It's not exact prices. This was a volume event right there. What's that? This is a gap up. This was a gap down. This is an important zone. This was a tail that failed. This is this balance area, high volume node. This is and we've basically come straight down to it, right? This is like a 60-point move. These are the best IZZYs. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I would not be surprised to see this thing bounce here. So that bounces out of there. I'm going to go long 7. I'm going to move it up 93.75. Put that back. Should be 91.75. I'm moving it up. Should 93.50. Then I may not even have that trade on, right? If it gets an ATR below here, I could take shorts off of that. So we'll see what happens. That is an IZZY. So what did I say? 93.5. All right, that's working. Now, as long as this doesn't get to the invalidation price for the short, which is the same as the validation price for the long, 78.25. Wait, that's not right. Hold on a second. What's going on here? What is happening? Oh, 91, I'm sorry. Invalidation price for this, for the short, is the same as the validation. So as long as it doesn't get to 91, I can take shorts off of this zone, and I can take barf and lick. And you can see down there, there's liquidity. So I will take the IZZY long if this rips out of here first move, right? That's working right now. The short is still in play off of this zone as long as this doesn't get to 91. That's my disqualifier for shorts. Then I can go and I need to see ATR, retest, failure. I can go short barf, and I can go short lick. Just look down there, and it's probably even more below there, I would think. Let's see. There you go. You remember what Spock Gamma said. You break at 45 as it move to 44. It's all the way down here. It's about 44.20-ish, 44.18. So what did you say? He said probably not. Today he said probably not. He was too bearish when we should have been bullish, and now not bearish. Yeah, I mean, you can laugh at it, but you got to remember things change in the options world, right? So it's like I still think his input is very, very insightful, right? Things change, like he does just like we do, right? He comes up with a thesis based on his knowledge of options, right? But most of the time, it's pretty spot on, like bigger picture stuff, right? Yeah, and I agree that Hero hasn't been red light, green light, but that helps at times too, you know. Sure, the more we watch it, we're going to see where it's more important versus other times, stuff like that. But let's just read what he said here. This is today. Resistance doesn't matter. Supports that 4,400. That's that 44.20 in futures. There's ACPA. Might spark a directional trend for 4,500 to August 18th into the August 18th OPEX. Bullish case remains intact with SPX above 4,500. We are not above 4,500. Current positioning suggests 4,400 would be a major low. So if this thing rips down and you're short, which I'm still short Nasdaq, by the way. You notice I didn't call him with a bad word name today because he's been very kind to me. But this is a spot gamma level. I should already been honest on this bounces again. I'll get out of one more. I have 4 on, I'll get out of 1. These are one of the areas that I get out of. And I'll still have 3 left. So I'll give this a second. There you go. Bouncing, of course, right when I put my eyeballs on it. So I still have 3 on. This is one of my areas. Am I just randomly picking this area? No. I don't know if I've mentioned this document before.
Crude stock by CL, 179 contracts.
That's an area to get out of some. We got crude firing off too. All right, active day today finally. Anyway, let's read this. QQ levels aren't changed. SPX 4,500 are the largest gamma levels on the board. The SP has been sticking to the strikes. So, you know, this is important information because if this does mount, it's probably coming back to 4,500. Okay, and I will be long, and that's what, 45.20-ish? Yeah, it's all the way up here. 45.18, 19. 19, right? So when there's a lot of gamma, meaning options positions at a strike, the market tends to revert back to that area. So that's what you should keep in mind. Hence the bungee jump. Let's see, sticking to as we stuck to this level, positions have filled in and around 4,500, which likely now governs restricts volatility. So that's where you can potentially get those snapbacks, a very high percentage of time. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's every time. It's a high percentage that snaps back. If it doesn't, if it keeps moving lower, then be prepared for a shit show. Pardon my language. Framing this another way, our view over the last session was the break of 4,500 would lead to a rapid test of the 4,400 level and an above average spike in volatility, aka higher vol. Well, vol did perk up rather quickly. The probes below 4,500 were met with dip buyers. That's a real shocker, isn't it? We now do not see anything to support a sharp rapid decline. So he's just going off of what he sees. That's his thesis, right? If it starts to rip down, then he's got to pivot. And what do we talk about every day with what we're doing? If then scenarios, right? This is not to say the SP cannot sell off, just that we see solid support at 4,450 and 4,400, which slows the decline. We're still of the view that Thursday CPI data will spark a directional move in the event of volatility shifts adjust, sparking and move down towards 4,400 or move to 4,600, which then feeds August OPEX at a turning point. Why did this market fail to respond at the onset of negative gamma? Increased implied volatility. We laid out some of our thoughts on this during yesterday's Q&A, but you guys watch these videos and stuff if you guys need. Let's see, is this a spot gamma? Oh, this is, you got to be a member for that, but a lot of this stuff is on YouTube. What am I doing? One of the main things that caught our eye was very elevated levels of 0 day to expiration volume. Plotted below in white is the 0 DT volume, which, as you can see, the volume has been recently pegged as this very unique all-time high zone. Further, 8.4 registered. So let's just look at that. And this is where he gets, he starts to go down the rabbit hole a little bit. But this is a must-have just to know the bigger picture. He is very accurate, and then you can add this stuff to what we look at with the structure and stuff, and you got yourself an incredible edge. That's even before the volume events, which are the most important, as I've mentioned 5 million times. Let's see here. Let's see what this looks like today. See if they're already starting to buy the thing. So there you go. So this thing's started. It hasn't done it yet today. But I mean, this is the biggest spike up so far, right? It's done these little blips. And then what is it coinciding with? It's starting to bounce here. So remember, I'm going long. I still have my Izzy trade working there. This never got below the zone for shorts. So my Izzy trade's working here. And I have that arrow in my direction too. So what you can do too, we talk about trading bigger with thesis. You can say, hey, I think this is coming back to that 4,500 level, the 44.19 or 45.19 in the futures. Hero is moving with it. This is an Izzy zone that we just looked at. It's bouncing off there. I'm trading bigger here. That's a good reason to trade bigger. If you think this is going to bounce based on options activity, this should bounce. This is quite a move down. On the flip side, he said break at 4,500 he has a very high percentage to get down to 4,400. So you've got a ways. It's just like the scale talk about. You got bullish factors, you got bearish factors. Okay, so there's 10 bearish factors, 4 bullish factors. Okay, well, I'm going to trade bigger on the downside. Things like that, right? Nothing's ever, I shouldn't say ever, very, very seldom is everything just black and white, slap you in the face. This is easy, right? We all know. If you trade for a living or even trying to trade for a living, nothing's easy. It's very, you get those days that everything just clicks, but most of the time it's not easy. Anyway, this is an important zone. Like I said, this was that. This was the top of that balance. This is where this gapped up. This is where this gapped down. Very likely it almost got there and just the tip of it. Very likely it's going to do that. Especially we talk about the directional conviction moves into important zones. This is why I took that. That's why I took this natural gas trade this morning. I was trying to get through here now, but we did get the initial move down. I got out of one, and now this bust through, and then this is looking pretty bullish too. All right, I'm going to draw this greed zone, and then I'm going to hop off. Still short NASDAQ. So let's see where we're at. Did this get an ATR below here? What was that validation price? Make sure this is up to date. It's actually up to 23.63. Did this get down to 46.75? And here you go again. It is. This is a bullish setup, so I can't. I didn't have a long working anyway. I can go short. And what happened here? ATR back to the zone. Surprise, surprise. Another one missed. You guys are welcome, by the way. I'm not taking these. There's probably been about 10 of them already today. You're long at 49.25. Stop out at 23. I think we already talked about this one. You're out there. Another ATR. But as long as this doesn't get above an ATR above this last stop run zone, then I am taking. I'm going to add. I already have BARF on. I'm going to add to the BARF. So you can see when you get trend down days, there's a way you can have multiple positions on, and you're just risking to the latest event, right? I'll put on another BARF trade. I already still have 3 on. I'll put on another. I'll round up to 5 there, and I'll put it on at 43.25. Put that in. See if there's any lick below there too. That is working. Any liquidity? Bueller? No, nothing. All right, this is a little bit, that's not heavy liquidity. So I'll add to my BARF short for NASDAQ. Turn this on and then I gotta take a break here. Stop run. Middle of nowhere. It did hold this lower zone, came real close anyway. But like I said, if there's something up here, this thing should have never got back below the zone. This is going to be a very good short opportunity, in my opinion. Izzy, I would keep a close eye on this Izzy zone if you get a volume event there. But in the meantime, the guy's trying to pull across. It is. So this is bullish. So I can take the bullish trade off of this. Meaning I can take BARFs and licks potentially because they're in the direction of the outcome guy. Here. Quiet all of a sudden. 81.23 to 81.14. Down here is 0.211. All right, that's your zone. So I can take BARFs in, see if there's liquidity up here. Sure there is. There's definitely liquidity up here. It's been in here for a while, especially this band up at 82. So because algo guy is bullish, I can take BARFs and licks. Oh, up to 82. That would be my final. You can get out of some of your lick, portions of your lick at these prices, but the ultimate goal for me would be this 82. And I think that coincides right in the zone, right there. That would be awesome. Come up there, get out, get it set up, and fade it for the move to zero. All right, guys, I'm out. Hopefully we'll get some trade this afternoon. We get probably 1 out of 8 days is decent trade in the afternoon lately. So if we have good trade, I will be back 2 o'clock. If it sucks, we'll do a vote like I always do. So I will see you guys later. Thanks.